last days of Atlantis, a sword was forged in the chaos of destruction. It held within its blade the power of death and the promise of life. For 8,000 years, it awaited the one destined to wield its power, the one called Conan.
Know this, Conan. What does not kill you makes you stronger.
No man, no woman, no army, no demon can stand against the power of Conan. Starring former Mr. Universe, Rolf Moeller, Conan. The series.
Between the time when the ocean swallowed the Isle of Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Ares, there was an age undreamed of when mythical kingdoms and dark empires spread across an uncharted world. This was the age of Conan. Orphaned on the battlefield, kidnapped and enslaved as a boy, he grew into a warrior among men. Escaping captivity to roam the wilds of the Eastern Hemisphere. Alone, he faced the forces of evil, encountered mystery, magic, and beauty, while waging a lifelong battle against the most demonic sorcerer in the land. Rogue, thief, lover. Conan was the creation of Robert E. Howard, a pulp fiction writer in the 1920s and 30s, a master storyteller. He thrust his savage barbarian into a fully realized world of decadent civilizations, ancient ruins, and lost treasure, where the black arts of magic and sorcery waged a fierce war against cold steel and brute strength. So vivid was this world, so charismatic his character, that it produced a legacy of 60 novels, 2 decades of Marvel comic books, and a motion picture trilogy starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Now, Conan, the legendary figure whose historic quest for freedom pits him against the forces of evil in a primal world, becomes the basis for an action-packed 1-hour television series for a new generation. An extraordinary international cast and crew have assembled on location in the lush tropical forest of Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, where production has begun. Through their combined efforts, talent, and vision, the fantasy comes to life. Journey behind the scenes and beyond the myth to discover what it means to create a hero. Conan, the making of a legend. The world of Conan is an ancient one, a fantasy realm, beautiful as well as barren. Here on the western coast of the Pacific Ocean was the perfect location, Puerto Vallarta. Framed by the Bay of Banderas, graced by mountains, beaches, rainforest, waterfalls, and rivers, it offered the diverse settings necessary to create the world of Conan.
There are less telephone wires, less telephone poles, less electrical stations, less airplanes flying in and out, less traffic.
A fantasy world, the ultimate hero. Who would be selected for the role of Conan?
Conan is really a legend. He has to be very warm, he has to be strong and human.
He has this incredible strength and freedom.
After a worldwide search, the first choice to play this legendary figure was Ralph Mueller.
Conan is back.
We were very fortunate that we found Ralph after searching really all over the world and interviewing literally hundreds and hundreds of guys, meetings and seeing them. And then Ralph emerged as the winner, and it was perfect.
How was that?
A former Mr. Universe, the 6'6" tall, 270-pound bodybuilder was a natural. While his strength and stature were apparent, his warmth and appeal soon became clear to both cast and crew.
They couldn't have found a better Conan, to be quite honest. I mean, he's just everything. He's got it. Look at him.
Yeah, he
has humor. I think everyone is just amazed by his size and his physique.
One of the huts was set up for us, and he came in larger than life.
One of the things about enormous men is that they tend to be very gentle and very considerate because they can. They can afford to be. And Ralph is very much like that, tremendously powerful physically and emotionally, but at the same time with a gentleness of spirit that really makes everybody on the set feel wonderful.
Gerard, sag hallo zu dem deutschen Publikum.
Ralph is very funny. He makes you laugh.
Conan brings back beef to the screen, television.
I think one of the funniest moments is where he's smashing at the imaginary wall with his sword going, I want my diet cookies.
Because when we took power, he works hard, he's a good athlete, and he's learning how to be a good actor.
Go ahead, kill me.
You are a girl.
I am a woman.
You are a girl, and almost a dead one.
No, I am a woman.
You're right. Almost a dead woman.
By playing the part of Conan, Ralph follows in the footsteps of one of his close friends and colleagues, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
When I met Arnold in 1981, and I saw him in this movie, I said, okay, maybe in 16 years you can take over.
A little bit more, thank you.
After now 6.5 years in Hollywood, it's a great opportunity for me to get famous.
There's all the sword fight, there's all the workout, horseback riding. King Conan.
No hero stands alone. 3 comrades accompany Conan on his adventures, bringing loyalty, support, and humor along with them.
What's the matter? I frighten you?
Stand-up comedian Danny Woodburn plays Otley.
Stop it! Just stop! Go away!
His wit and wisdom temper the gravity of Conan's plight.
2 lefts, right, then left again. Who am I kidding? I'm lost.
They had been forced together sort of by fate, and I think they were establishing that bond between them.
You change sides too quickly.
A lifetime is not too quickly. You use me, I use you. A partnership of convenience.
Such a beautiful guy, beautiful man, sensitive, intelligent.
Neither rain nor snow, nor sleep nor dark of night will keep us from our job. I want no master. Just because I'm small does not mean I'm not a man. I feel, I hope, I live. I'm not a toy to be used and beaten at the whim of a madman.
He's truly a pleasure to work with. It took me quite a bit of time to get Danny to join because he has a recurring role on Seinfeld. He's a recurring role on the Tracy Ullman Show, and he wasn't sure that he wanted to come to Mexico for 6 months.
He's the guy that is sort of the reasoning aspect.
Ride with him in the back. Oh, you ride with the beautiful girl? Get in the cart.
Film and television actor Robert McCrae is Zebin, the strong, silent type. He must rely on physical expression and gestures to communicate.
He is portraying a mute, and he doesn't have the ability to talk. It just makes it much more difficult for him.
Does he also boast like you?
He does. Silent. But I'm sure you can make him sing.
Conan possesses a personality and traits that Zebin does not have, such as when to fight, when not to fight, and the wisdom to choose.
Why don't you speak?
He's really very good. He's very into the character he's developing.
Perhaps we should follow him. You speak quite clearly, my friend, and with wisdom.
Comedian actor Andrew Craig completes the foursome as Volkar, a loyal companion whose heart is as big as his frame.
Any friend of Conan and Otley's?
He's a friend of Volkar.
Volkar is me in a lot of ways. He has a big heart, quick to defend, quick to come to the aid of people in trouble.
You had us guide these fishermen to the lands of the Nodars for no reason? The trip did not get them killed, and they will now starve with the rest of their village.
Ralph says, Andrew, you want to go bite? We go have a bite together? We go eat? Yeah. I get you in shape. I will get you in shape. Before we leave here, you'll be in shape.
He makes us all laugh all the time. We go to dinner with Andrew, and I do not stop laughing because he's just a very, very funny guy. He reminds me of Robin Williams or John Candy.
Quite a woman. Yeah?
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know if one would sleep well at night. She seems to enjoy killing.
No. That's what makes her special. See? Lying one's head down at night, not knowing if it will still be on your shoulders when you wake up in the morning.
In one of the shows, it was, if you are all liars, then why should I care what happens to you? That's what it is. And he turned those 5 words into one long word, so it became, if you're all liars, why should I care what happens to you?
There are people who need your help.
If you're all liars, why should I care what happens to you?
Joining Conan in episode 4 is actor, dancer, and martial arts expert T.J. Storm. He plays Bayou, a fierce warrior raised in the jungle. With the agility of a cheetah and the strength of a lion, he shares Conan's hatred of injustice and love of freedom.
Are you calling me a baggage carrier? It was just a joke, my thick-headed friend.
Save the fight for the Agita.
I am a latecomer to the series. I am Bayou. I'm from Exucado. I am of the Panther tribe. We're imbued with animal spirits, and that's the way we fight and live.
So you chose the way I should die.
I'm not the first one to try to get out and find help. You have to understand.
I understand. Cowardice.
It's a cool character and a great show.
If you go to meet trouble, we go with you. So be it.
Well, that's all fine, Conan, but in the future, can we meet up with the kind of trouble that comes with finery?
Look forward to it.
Conan. He's big. He's gorgeous. Where is he?
Now I feel better. Thank you for saving my life.
I have just been rewarded.
You can give me something else.
There is no time right now. We have to leave.
There's plenty of time.
It's all I have thought about.
That's a fantasy a lot of women have about, the man that can throw them over their shoulder and take them away to a fantasy adventure. And Conan certainly can do that without any problem.
He's very sexy. Come on. Everyone wants to be taken care of. All women want to be held and taken care of. And he's good. He's the one to go for.
He's sexy as hell, very attractive. He's the archetypal protector. It's beautiful to see a man who can kind of instill that and embody it in his physicality.
Bold, beautiful, and powerful. The women of Conan's world can be friends.
Now dismount and offer me a drink so that I may know you.
Or foes.
Kill me. I've already risked my life to come here.
Ali Dunn plays Corella, a treacherous bandit whose ongoing lustful competitive relationship with Conan keeps him on his toes.
I am Corella, Queen of Thieves. Have you heard of me?
No.
Corella's incredibly independent and strong and fiery and wild. Usually people who enter my forest with weapons don't leave with them.
Usually people who push me in the river don't live.
They battle and fight and flirt with each other. I may have been born in the dark, but it wasn't last night. She's never met a man like him, that's for sure. She feels that Conan isn't her equal, that she is his superior. I owe you! I'd rather you owe me. I just said that to be diplomatic.
Desiring her is dangerous.
If you're going to be on top of me, at least lean on your elbows.
Trusting her, fatal.
Meet Jan. He's my best archer.
Ha! Jan kills Conan. I cut down throat. She kills me. I don't think I like the king.
A hero is only as powerful as his rivals. Throughout the series, Conan will be called upon to face a multitude of enemies, some human,
Surrender, and I will kill you quickly. Fight on, and you shall learn the true meaning of pain.
some supernatural. But his all-time greatest enemy is Hizarzul.
This is impossible. I had the perfect plan. Actel, the monster, the fish, the daughter, all in place. I had Peter just where I wanted her. And now, where is the barbarian?
A cruel and all-powerful sorcerer, Hizarzul rules from a mysterious castle on a mountaintop. All other wizards bow to his authority.
We lived in peace and health till Hizarzul evoked his power.
Absolutely.
But as Conan spreads liberty to the oppressed,
I heard how well you battled.
he threatens the sorcerer's dominion. Even more foreboding, the mystical Skull That Talks has told Hizarzul that he is doomed to die at the hands of a descendant of Atlantis.
You can find the chosen one and kill him.
Convinced that Conan is that man, he has sworn to destroy him.
I only wish you to find one man amongst them and dispose of him.
Slave turned warrior, Conan is the ultimate fighter. To maintain his incredible physique, Ralph works out on a daily basis.
I have to prepare myself like I go to the Olympic Games. So from 7 to 8 I work out, and that every day, and sometimes in the evening.
But to survive against his enemies, he needs more than brute strength to do battle.
You take that sword, we could have trouble.
The sword is mine.
Prior to the advent of the armaments of modern warfare, men defended themselves with one simple but deadly tool.
I got sword lessons from Kiyoshi Yamasaki, who trained also Arnold for the 2 Conan and Red Sonja movies.
Master swordsman Kiyoshi Yamasaki is responsible for training Ralph and the rest of the cast in the art of the sword.
You know, I saw so many people copy my idea. And the sword movement, the kind, they just movement, they not cutting. Now, even move different direction, you have to cut.
Having trained and choreographed Arnold Schwarzenegger for 2 of the Conan feature films, Kiyoshi comes to the set already familiar with the character.
It requires swordplay, horseplay, and an interplay of characters that are 12,000 years old.
Conan roamed the ancient world in constant search of adventure.
Conan.
Samira.
He's somebody right who goes for the best. Sometimes he's a little bit of a wild guy.
You should have done this before.
But he looks for freedom, and this is what's beautiful.
Is there really such a thing as long-legged animals that move like the wind?
Yes. We call them horses.
In those days and for centuries thereafter, horseback was the only way to travel. As athletic as he is, Ralph was new to riding.
I prepared myself with horseback riding.
The job fell to action and effects coordinator Chuck Bale.
Don't pull hard, don't jerk. It's like putting on the brake of a car. You don't jerk the brake on,
Yeah, I trained 3-4 hours, sometimes a day.
His challenge was to make Conan and the rest of the cast smooth in the saddle and to put the horses through their paces. A professional fighter, Conan relied on his strength and reflexes to triumph over many of his enemies.
And most of my stunts, actually, I do by myself. And I survived, believe it or not.
Choreographing the numerous fight sequences was an additional task that fell to Chuck Bale, while Angel de la Peña was in charge of staging the stunts.
This is action show. We need to make a lot of action, a lot of stunts.
We have great people like Angel and Kiyoshi and really great stunt coordinators. We're using gymnastics, different fighting arts like tiger kung fu, mantis, monkey, snake, everything you can think of, using all kinds of great stuff.
The action is there, my dear.
As a team of experts collaborate on bringing exciting physical action to the story, creating the physical environment that is Conan's world takes the coordinated effort of many departments, all under the supervision of the production designer Giovanni Natolucci.
After reading the script, I start to create a sketch for all departments, for the costume, for the animation, creature, makeup, everything.
We were very fortunate to get Giovanni, a world-class production designer.
Conan is coming from a land that is with no story. It's pure fantasy.
Having worked on such classics as Zeffirelli's The Taming of the Shrew and John Huston's The Man of La Mancha, as well as Lady Hawk and Cutthroat Island, Giovanni brings a wealth of experience, versatility, and talent to the production. Choosing Mexico as the location for the show is just the beginning.
It's very difficult to work on locations under these conditions. We've been working in 100-degree heat with 100% humidity and poisonous plants and poisonous bugs.
I think that is the most, the biggest challenge I ever had. To work 6 months here in Mexico under really hard circumstances. We have 90, 100 degree outside.
I have to wear this hat because otherwise Conan gets too blonde. And we don't want the blonde, wipey Conan, right? So this was I had to wear it. And right now I'm working in the sun for 12 hours. That is why I use the sun bath in the meantime during the workout and training.
And we work here 12 hours every day from Monday to Saturday.
But the truth of it is, we do it to bring one thing to the audience, which is beauty.
Certainly the locations are wonderful and perfect for a show like this where you don't want to see Conan riding off into the sunset with telephone poles, you know, on the horizon. So it's definitely location-wise, it's perfect.
Since Conan's world is a fantasy, there are no blueprints. It must be conjured up from the imagination.
For example, the Hisanzu and the castle is so strange also because we can create a volcano.
I want my clothes.
Costumes play a critical role in creating the fantasy world of Conan. In this department, Giovanni turns to his wife, Michela.
Giovanni and me always check each other.
We work practically together. She knows the set, I know the costume.
An award-winning designer who brings her sense of style to the entire cast.
When you see a show, it's like to watch a painting. The colors has to be perfect.
We're very, very excited about the wardrobe on the show. It's quite a massive wardrobe job.
So you have to inform yourself about the line, the style, the kind of fabric they were using.
Because we have hundreds of armies, rebel armies, evil armies.
Also, I want to show that a girl can be beautiful also just wearing a very simple dress.
Again, since the stories take place thousands of years ago in a fantasy world, it's an opportunity to be inventive as well as realistic.
What'll be most entertaining about this show is the fact of I think the period that it's set in, and the fact that it's action adventure and that it's fantasy and that anything really can happen.
We can use much more fantasy for everything.
I love the happy end stories because the young people need to trust in someone today.
Conan is a character. He's a heroic, epic character, construed of somebody's wonderful imagination, and he is a myth.
From swords to thrones, from goblets to saddles, the props for Conan can't be found in a local department store.
I've really enjoyed the whip. It's actually a much more gentle motion than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was actually more harder and physical, more physical, but actually the more gentle you are with it, the better.
To keep track of the thousands of objects necessary to create 22 episodes is the responsibility of prop master Carlos Torres and his department.
We are able to provide to the director different kind of the styles of weapons, like bows, arrows, swords, helmets, shields.
In charge of special effects, makeup, and hair are the award-winning brothers Gabriel and Carlos Solana. Since Conan takes place in an age of sorcery and the supernatural, each villain requires a unique face.
But at least we know who the villains are and who the demons are and who the bad guys are. They're the ones with the masks over their faces, dressed in black, you know, with helmets with horns.
Here's a piece that hasn't been painted, of course, and this is the material I'm talking about. Foam latex is a great material. It's like very, very elastic, and it moves with your face. It moves like if you open your mouth, if you do like some expressions, the mask, it will register all that.
We're here today to talk about CGI, which stands for Computer Graphic Imaging. That's going to be used on Conan to create all the beasties and monsters that you'll be seeing. Now, it may look like around you here that I'm in the middle of a Mexican beach resort. Very beautiful, lavish place, but in actuality, I'm on a sound stage, which is very air-conditioned. And this stuff is so precise, even the sweat on my head is placed there by computer. And the movements they have of these people, these are not real people. They're all computer-enhanced people that have been placed here. And they've got the movements down to such a science that it's virtually impossible to detect. And I've actually ordered a drink just to make the effects look even more spectacular. Ah, thank you. Good pina colada. Pretty realistic, huh?
We have Peter Chesney, who is a great special effect guy.
We felt that bringing Peter on would enable us to have the type of a producer who could deal with the special effects for the series, which are very important.
A lot of the stuff we get to do is, in effect, groundbreaking.
With a solid background as special effects designer for over 15 years on such films as Men in Black, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Waterworld, and Vampire in Brooklyn, Conan producer Peter Chesney is the resident expert in charge of special effects.
He can fight a mummy, he can chop a tentacle, but if the creature is 30 feet tall, it's time to start, working our computer tricks.
So sometimes I have to fight monsters, but they are not there right now. But I got used to it now, and it is really a lot of fun.
Having to be able to react to things that aren't there, and to me that's very difficult to do, and to make it real. Because normally acting is reacting, and when you don't get a chance to have somebody to react off of, then it makes it more complicated.
While fantasy adventure has long been a staple of entertainment, special effects have come a long way.
Once we created this kind of landscape with mass paint or miniature.
Things are radically different than they were just 2 years ago. So we get to play with new tools and work with different hardware and software. That has kind of turned it all upside down.
And thanks to modern technology, an ancient civilization can be brought magically to life.
We tell really good stories on this show, with lots of different interesting characters and moments of friendship and closeness and relationship, but also moments of high adventure and romance.
I just think it's a magical show.
I think the legend of Conan, being that it is some 5,000 years old and being that it is sort of a fantasy trip, I think it's germane to young and old alike. I think everybody will like it. I think Ralph is a very likable Conan and very believable indeed. As I said, larger than life.
an authentic physical world, a spectacular imagined world, and one of the most popular characters ever created for fantasy adventure. Where did it all begin?
Robert E. Howard was the creator of the Conan character. He began writing manuscripts, and they were finally published in 1925 in a pulp fiction magazine entitled Weird Tales. After that, he wrote hundreds of different stories.
Born in 1906, Robert E. Howard's writing career spanned barely a dozen years. Known as REH to his millions of fans, he made an extraordinary impact on the fantasy adventure genre.
He's an icon in a world of mythology.
From Conan the Cimmerian to Cull of Atlantis, Solomon Kane and Black Turlo, Howard's larger-than-life heroes, beautiful women, and compelling tales of adventure seized the imagination of thousands of readers.
The Robert E. Howard Conan was far more explicit. It's less of a character study of Conan and more the following of a violent barbarian doing righteous work.
Howard contributed well over 100 stories to the pulp magazines of his day, chiefly to weird tales, but also to action stories, argosy, fight stories, spicy adventure, strange detective, and thrilling adventure.
All the original Conan stories are in those magazines. He only wrote one full-length novel, which was called The Hour of the Dragon, and much of the material was found in the form of unfinished manuscripts.
I became more and more this character. I read a lot of books, and now I'm Conan.
In 1936, at the age of 30, Robert E. Howard's life was over, but he left behind a legacy that thrives to this day.
Conan is a symbol for freedom.
The mass-market paperback publication of the Conan stories in the 1960s spawned a veritable industry, resulting in the publication of virtually all of the prolific writer's hundreds of stories and verses. A comic book series and 3 major motion pictures starring Arnold Schwarzenegger followed.
Arnold gave me some advice because he played Conan, and he told me, go prepared to Mexico.
Dozens of sites on the World Wide Web attest to his continued popularity.
There is action, sword fights, horseback riding, big adventures. I can see it already.
Howard's own life story was the inspiration for the 1996 feature film The Whole Wide World, starring Vincent D'Onofrio and Renee Zellweger. Tragically, Howard died far too soon, but he left the world a far more thrilling place by making Conan immortal. Clearly, Conan is a phenomenon. The first step for award-winning executive producers Max and Micheline Keller was to secure the rights to bring their new action-adventure television show to the screen.
We had been fans of Robert E. Howard for many years, and my husband had actually wanted to produce the Conan series for several years and finally acquired the rights, and that's how we began this adventure.
No! Get him off me! Get him off me!
It's quite nice. It's kind of like an architect who has a plans to build a house, and you try to bring on people who can help you create that house.
The next was to cast the role of Conan.
Well, we felt that Ralph was the perfect choice to portray the character Conan. He has the physique and the strength of character in addition to the physical strength.
Welcome to the slave pens of our time.
Conan of Cimmeria.
I heard how well you battle.
You can fight to be free.
How?
Any way you can. With this.
The other quality that is very exciting for the audiences is the raw, primal Conan.
You have quite an appetite.
I traveled a great distance.
How many piles of bones did you have in front of you to get this far?
Many.
He was the original superhero and, I think, macho man.
He likes food like me.
If I had known how much you'd eat, I would have left you in the forest. You should travel by horseback.
Sometimes I do.
What did you do with your last horse? Eat it?
Casting the show, as well as assembling a team of the best writers, directors, technical experts, and crew, was essential to make Conan a state-of-the-art adventure series.
We were very fortunate to get Giovanni Nattalucci, a world-class production designer.
We don't have any limit. We can do all we want. We can use much more fantasy. Even the weapon or the costume, great, unusual.
Directors Gerard Hamelin and Rob Stewart each bring their own distinctive talents and directorial styles to Conan.
We have two directors working on the series. One is Gerard Hamelin, a world-famous commercial director.
I have a job to do. It's a big challenge. Everybody has to work for each other together for the same goal, to make Conan the best that we can.
When we get inside the wall, jump up once in a while so I can see you.
Is that a joke?
Do you hear me laughing?
I like the character of Conan because Conan represents freedom.
You must fight to stay free!
I'd love to be like him, 6'8", you know, big muscle.
Rob Stewart is a very, very talented man also, and he brings wonderful ability to work with actors.
You know you have to do this. You're still a beautiful woman.
And you, Conan, are a very gallant man.
The writing is very, very crucial.
Where is the barbarian now?
We hired Bert Armas, the showrunner and producer.
Supervising producer Burton Armas is an Emmy Award-winning writer whose credits include writing and producing NYPD Blue, as well as Star Trek: The Next Generation, Knight Rider, Airwolf, and Fall Guy.
The audience will see a product with stories and action and interplay of characters that's worth viewing.
I come from Cimmeria, to the northwest.
That's where Azazul has great power.
His evil sorcery is known in many lands.
So you came here, ran away from him?
I do not run from anyone.
You have to construct a hero. A hero has to be brave and emotional.
I've never seen a man so strong and noble as you are.
It requires swordplay, horseplay.
I trained on a horse, ride 3 hours, 4 times a week.
Wardrobe comes into play.
I am very picky about colors because I think that when you see a show, it's like a painting. You have to inform yourself about the lining, the style, the kind of fabric they were using.
All of these things come into play, and yet the stories remain what they are. They could be today's stories or stories from 12,000 years ago. It's what I do.
The collaboration of all this talent, as well as the coordination of all these departments, are made all the more complicated and all the more enjoyable by the international makeup.
Silencio, por favor, quiet, please.
The producer, Michelin Keller, pick up the people all around the world and try to make the team. They are great people here. They are working very hard.
A French director, a German star, an Italian production designer, a Japanese swordmaster, a Hollywood production, all on location in Mexico. For decades, audiences have followed the adventures of Conan.
It's this mighty warrior. It's the warrior within us all. It's that whole thing of the true protector.
The audience sees a great hero. They see good action, good production value, excellent film.
This is whose vision shows you with the sword of Atlantis.
From magazines and novels to comic books and feature films, he has captured our imagination, transporting us to faraway places.
Who are you? What is your purpose here?
I'm Conan. You come in peace.
Allowing us to share a far more intense experience than ordinary life.
If you are prepared to die as free man, then you can also prepare to live as free man. Will you follow me?
I will.
For revenge or freedom? Both. Then let's go to fight and win!
What accounts for his tremendous appeal?
We are portraying a powerful man in a fantasy period 12,000 years ago. He has a quest in this show, which is a quest for freedom and a quest for fighting oppression wherever he finds it on his journeys.
You all fought bravely. Now you can return to your village and live a peaceful life.
What is very interesting in Conan is that we all have been looking for freedom. It's like a fantasy for a lot of people in this world.
Is the dark world of fantasy and the supernatural merely a great escape, or a way to confront our anxieties and our fears?
It's a trap!
Where is Conan?
Hunting for you. Always in your nightmares.
What makes the superhero so compelling?
There is no way to define this Conan any more you would define another Conan except a superhero with human frailties and an interplay of characters that are 12,000 years old.
This is my fault. It happened because of me.
No, Conan. Evil people will always want you and those around you dead. You are free.
What makes Conan the ultimate adventurer?
Is there any mercy in you?
You? None.
It's like Robin Hood meets Spartacus. It is the right character for Conan.
Size, stature, and strength make Conan unique.
Those are characteristics that a lot of people would like to have. The ability to go anywhere, anytime they want to.
You put my friends in danger to save yourselves. I hope I never see this place again.
Everyone is just amazed by his size.
Although he is one of the original superheroes, he has no superpowers like flight or X-ray vision. Nor does he hide behind the trappings of masks, capes, and costumes, but instead faces his enemies as mortal man, powerful, yet not invincible.
We are looking for the wizard Azul.
The wizard of the wizards. I want Conan dead. This is the time to attack.
Vulnerable to seduction and to pain, endowed by body and spirit, he vanquishes his enemies, refusing to bow to authority or to surrender his freedom.
Or pay the price.
Conan challenges evil in all its forms, testing himself over and over against incredible odds, defending the weak, rescuing the oppressed. He respects nature and his physical environment, and in an age when mythical creatures stalk the earth and sorcerers cast demonic spells, he survives by his wits, his nerve, and his heart. Thief, pirate, barbarian, liberator.
I go after his Azul. It is best if I go alone.
We are on the same quest. Shall we walk behind you or walk alongside you as friends?
I would never deny you this friendship.
The epitome of strength and courage. His legend will never die. Conan the Adventurer. Fantasy on the cutting edge.
What does not kill you makes you stronger. No man, no woman, no army, no demon can stand against the power of Conan, the television series.